All right, flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Motion that we accept the consent agenda.
Here, a second.
I second that.
Moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Everybody's mics are on. Thank you. Okay. I have the Public Works staff report. I'll read it, and if you have any questions, Mike's here to answer your questions. Finished reviewing the water comp plan, meeting set for Wednesday with GNO to go over it. Hauled solids off to Fire Mountain Burnt Ridge Ranch. Started working on the 2023 budget with John and the mayor. Mike had 2 days vacation. John will be on vacation the 19th to the 23rd and also the 26th and the 30th. That's all he's got reported. Any questions for Mike? He's right here.
I had a question, Mike.
He's got to come up. So Mike.
Mike, come to the mic, Mike. I had a question because I did not ever know the answer to this and I was curious. Our watershed, where does that water come from? Is it a spring?
It's in a well.
It's a well?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's in ground.
it's in ground. Okay,
Bill's Creek runs through it, but that's not where we get our water.
okay.
It's
And-
groundwater.
And how deep is that well? Do you know?
It's only like 30 some feet.
30 some feet? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why we have to chlorinate that well.
Okay.
I have questions as well. So the ATV signs is
Right.
We have a status on
We,
those?
we have them. We just haven't got them up yet.
Okay, do we have an idea? How are they on your priority list? Is it,
Well, yeah.
I don't know
So,
what your whole list is though.
yeah, it's a big one.
Okay, and so while we're at that, then the locks in the park, then I didn't see those on. Is that something we're?
No, I have those also. As soon as John gets back, we'll start getting that stuff done. We got solids and the comp plan and just some other stuff come up that we're
Okay.
working on. So
And while I'm throwing things on your plate, we talked about that trailer. It looks like you got the solids hauled. So is there enough? So I tried to look at what was in the park host's shed. And he doesn't have the key to the other side. So I'm wondering if, because I have no idea what's in there. But I can tell you on the south side, there's not even enough there to fill up a.
no, he can probably haul it in his pickup. I mean, really, if it's just not.
Even if that, and then it depends if the other side is stuffed with things.
Which probably about the same amount.
Okay,
I have a truck that's beat up and it
can
can
you,
haul stuff. in it.
can you haul stuff?
I can haul stuff for sure.
I will help load it.
Okay, I can do that too.
So let me
Okay,
know if you need in
I
there.
have a kid in school and
Yeah,
it's
you want to see it.
7
Yeah.
hours.
well, I wanted to get an idea for how much we're talking about.
Right.
We're gonna take this stuff out, I might as well do it all at one
Yeah, exactly.
time.
I do have some kids that are asking for hours of service too.
Then maybe they can come help.
Well, let's pick a day. Pick a day and let me know, and I can get back and reach out to these kids that need the service hours. And they're willing, able and ready to work,
If we can
no
find,
matter
a key.
what.
Huh?
If we can find a key.
Oh, I know where it's at.
Okay. Great,
I do it, ask for it. I mean,
okay,
it's not like it was being.
wonderful.
We have the key.
Yeah.
I think you put the door in, didn't you?
Yeah,
So on the water reads, we had 48 that needed rereads, and then we ended up winnowing that down to 18. I know it was our first digital read.
yeah, I think until it gets an average, it's gonna flag some high reads and some stuff. And I mean, as soon as we get through this, probably the first 5 or 6, then it will probably level out with to getting an average. So
Okay.
it knows which meter's doing
So
what.
you have an idea, so that you'll have an idea, so that before it comes to the getting kicked back, you'll have already said, whoa, it'll flag it for you, or, like,
Well,
Holy cow, what
if
did you
it's not- so really the meter, they're all brand new. So the computer doesn't really know what that meter and what that household uses yet. So like the first couple, 2 or 3, then it'll be able to take an average. So it won't flag it for a high read. or a low read.
Oh, so it does flag it if it thinks it's.
And unless it's a continuous flow, then it'll flag it for a leak,
Okay,
you know. So,
okay,
yeah.
that's it.
So back to the ATV signs,
Mhm.
what's on the signs?
I think it's ATV legal, it has a ATV on it.
Picture of it?
It has a picture of it and yeah, and we're gonna put it on, I haven't looked at it on all the areas, but I believe coming into town.
Is there a speed limit on it?
I think they're
They have to,
street legal.
they have to obey the
So,
streets. They have to obey the city limit, when we got a speed limit 25 all through town.
Right, but
So they
if they're
gotta-
in the park, shouldn't there be another limit? Not a street.
It's not a street, it's a park, but I mean, they should still, if they don't obey it, then we'll first turn them in. But they gotta go by the speed limit, 25 all over town.
yeah, they have to obey all the,
They gotta have blinkers, they
laws.
gotta have lights, they gotta have
Yeah.
everything, just like a
Yeah,
car.
I get all that, but if they're in the park and there are people walking in the park, shouldn't we be concerned about their safety?
Well, I don't think we should allow them in the park.
Oh,
Why do they need to be in the park?
because I,
Oh, the
ATV,
ATV is not for off-roading, it's for driving them around on city streets, is what was
Okay.
approved.
so they gotta
Okay,
stay.
So you can drive the ATV up to here.
I.
sorry, that's why I was saying that they have to be street legal, yeah. So they can drive them on the street. In fact, we have a guy that has a gator that he's up and down all the time and he's got all the lights and everything. And it's got a little cab on it and all that stuff, so. Yeah, so anywhere a car can go, they'll be able to go in city limits. So, but they must obey all the laws, and if they don't, they will get a ticket just like anybody else, so.
That
So-
makes me ask this question, do we have posted speed limits in the park?
I don't think so.
I don't think there is.
Only at the
One, and it says 5?
five miles.
We
We got,
That was kind of my initial point.
Sorry.
Yeah, so they would have to follow that.
Okay.
Any other questions for Mike? Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome, Ken.
Devin, on this first part of the clerk's office, is that also the clerk view? Where it says building permit services dash Winlock? All that's you?
Yes.
Okay, building permit services dash Winlock, planned growth committee meeting on Tuesday to go over fees. Water sewer lines, Toledo Bader Road, nothing new to report. It's on my list to contact Robinson and Noble for an update. Just haven't gotten to it yet. Planning, Couts Meadows, nothing new to report, waiting on developer to submit requested information. Clock is still stopped. Annexation, nothing new to report, Todd is reviewing. Then we go on to the department reports summary, the clerk, fire chief Mike Dorothy called last week to inform us that currently there is no fire investigator for Lewis County. Time has lapsed. They are currently talking with Chehalis. He will try to be at the meeting to answer any questions, and he hasn't showed up yet. Myself, Jill and Mike have a meeting on Wednesday, the 21st with GNO to go over the draft water system plan update. Police Department, background investigations is still underway on Dwayne, verified with CJTC that investigators do not have to physically go to each agency to review personal files, so that will save us some money and time. Winlock is still actively patrolling and hand delivering a nuisance letter. What we did the other day. Hand delivered, we had to have an officer do that, so he did that. And working on getting an interview set up with other candidates. Attached to the notes from my check and call with Todd Johnson, the planner. That's all from Devin. Any questions for Devin? She's right here.
A question.
Go ahead.
So what is the status of the police interviews you were trying to arrange?
I need, now that Randy's back, I need, I'm gonna call him today, of course, to get to it, but I'm gonna try to get them set up for like next Monday or Tuesday.
Okay,
And
not
then-
Monday.
Okay, not Monday, okay, we'll go with Tuesday.
I just can't do the 29th.
But he was
Okay.
gone, I want an officer, an actual officer
Mhm.
That's awesome.
on it for.
And-
He was gone last week, so he was out. For the anniversary, so I didn't want to bug him.
And so the background check that can now be done by phone and you're in contact with the people that are doing.
Yeah.
Lawrence's-
Once a week to update me on where he's at, so if I hear from him tomorrow, if not, I'm gonna call him and ask him.
Yeah, morning and night. To get that one done,
Yeah.
at least one done. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Devin?
So how many interviews are we setting up?
Great.
Any other questions? Move on to treasurer's report. Jill is at the WFOA, which is Washington Finance Officers Association Conference this week. That's it for Jill. Utility billing clerk assistant started reviewing water sewer bills on September 12th. Outsourcing company has fixed their late billing issues. I've been working on gathering fee schedules from different cities on park fees for the 2023 park budget. Walk in the Park is Saturday, September 24th, starting at 10 a.m. Cindy Philbrook got a quilt donated from the Lewis County Rainy Day Guide. Jennifer Johnson dropped off a donation for the raffle. Got the ATV ordinances posted to the website. Thanks to Cindy, and asked Mike for an update on when the signs will be put up. Is there any questions for Shelley? Nothing? You don't have to say a word back there, just sit there and smile. Oh, girl. Okay, moving on. Public hearing, special presentation and public comments on, is there any public comments on agenda items? You must sign in prior, was there any signups, Devin?
Actually, we got reports from council and the mayor.
Reports from the
and
council,
committee. Yeah,
the park board and all that, the police? Is that what you want?
yeah, and council reports.
Temporary reports, planning commission, there's nobody here for planning commission. Water and sewer, Mike's here, he already did his thing.
Yeah.
And plan growth committee, can that be planning commission also?
No, I was talking about council. Council reports
Right after.
Department
Right.
reports,
and then
Right after.
Council reports us.
Yes.
city council meeting. Minutes. Is that what you're talking about? Here at the top,
no,
This.
council reports. Emily, Eric, okay. I skipped that one. Emily,
It is art trails this weekend, so go support your local artists. We have some in town here, and at the art gallery. So go check it out. That's what-
how long is it going for?
It was last weekend and it's going this weekend. So-
How many more? Is there more?
No, it's just. the
Two weekends? Thank you, Eric.
so I think we already talked about, I went and looked at the park host shed. Worked with the front office here on organizational ideas. Cindy and I did. They've got a whiteboard up, which is working great. It's allowing them to share their to-dos and to make them more visible. And it sounds like Shelley, it's enabled Shelley to say, I can get that done and I can get that done. So that's worked out really well at the end of the first week. I started putting together performance reviews for our 90-day follow-up, which is now getting in arrears. Curious what the mayor wants to do on that, so we can talk about that whenever you would like. And also, Mayor, you have a couple of things that you did last week. If you want to talk about the state of the city, you did a talk with, or what's it called? The chamber. Thank you.
Had a meeting with the chamber. Can't remember the day it was. Anyway, Vader was there also. Vader, mayor, was there also. We both said a little speech about our cities and what we've accomplished, what our goals were, and trying to expand. And it was a good dinner luncheon thing, I thought. And I invited Steve Birch to do the planning. He knows more about the planning of Toledo's future anyway. So I had him answer some of the questions in the crowd, which there wasn't too many, but there was some. And even afterwards, he met with a couple other people and was talking about Toledo planning and stuff like that. So it was a good, I felt it was a good meeting. We both got to speak in front of a group of about 20, 25 people, I would say.
Excellent.
Yeah. And they're gonna hit Winlock and Napavine mayors. And I think it's at Napavine, Joe. Where's that? Boss Hogs in Winlock. Boss Hogs in Winlock. With their, and hopefully they'll have a good turnout for theirs too. So they're just testing the waters, going around to other cities and getting mayor's comments and stuff. And I think it's all good.
Excellent, thank you. And then you also met about our urban growth with the owner of 200 acres in our urban growth.
And the 200 acres in our urban growth, we just met with him today. Actually, and talked to him a little bit. He's interested in what's Toledo's thoughts for the future. And Steve Birch, once again, I invited him with Mike and we talked about a bunch of things, but water rights is the biggest issue. And he wants to help, he wants to get involved, and like Stephen Birch said, it's not in our planning growth, it's not in our urban growth, but it's in our planning growth.
Yeah.
Reserve planning growth for the future is going out towards the freeway. So that's the way the county is pushing us to go anyway, which I'm all for it. I think we can handle it if we go out that way. Now, the cost and all that endeavor is gonna be probably astronomical, but at least we're talking in steps now to see possibly what our future might entail with the help of him and his acreage. He did mention light industry instead of houses. So I'd like to hear that. Mike, do you have anything else that I'm missing?
No, it was a pretty positive thing. He seems to be very adamant about maybe getting some plans started.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a while. It's gonna, 2 years, I suppose, to get it done, but
And who's the other guy that has the other 200 acres?
Max.
Max. He's with Max.
Red Rock.
Yeah, Red Rock. And so they're combining their 400 acres to
right,
suit
to develop.
to develop.
And that urban reserve is the area that the county sets aside for us. This annexation that we're working on currently is going to use up our urban growth area within the city. And when that hits a certain point, then we can go to the county and say, we would like to move this urban reserve
Extend
into
it,
our.
extend it.
And then that's the beginning that allows it to potentially be annexed eventually.
I think
It's a
that's
long
what-
process.
that's what-
It's a long process,
So
yeah.
he wants to take our potential, like, houses and turn them into.
We're not sure it's gonna happen, but him having water is fantastic.
Okay,
And some of what that's gonna allow is we've got people in this current annexation that want to put houses in, but there's no water. So that
You have to
might
have
be a
water.
connectivity between the two where they put money up to let this pipeline happen. And also out there in the urban reserve, they need access to our sewer. So it's kind of a,
He's got 4 pumps on his property. 2 of them, one of them was doing 265 gallons and the other one's 300 and some gallons.
Yeah.
Just in
but
the
he
two.
didn't- He didn't have any numbers as far
No.
as acre feet or anything like that, or even water rights, and
and that's agricultural.
while I asked, and he didn't know.
So
Kind of weird that.
at
he
best,
didn't
we would
know.
get a percentage of that, yeah.
So it possibly could be a deal how to get them converted, so really, it's just kind of
Super early.
a more or less to sit down and talk, and he wants to come into the city. And we could use the water, and he needs our treatment plant, so. If it works out, that'd be great.
And by light industry, I think they mean big box stores type there, right? So like a
Kind of,
Fred Meyer or right? Because doesn't Fred Meyer have something in Chehalis?
well, they do.
But they don't have
a
a
center
store.
there, for freight and all that,
yeah,
so.
what population? For big box store?
Well,
For
I mean, a lot-
Light, or you don't know how many they're gonna hire. We don't know. They could be,
Where are those workers gonna live?
well, that's their issue. I mean, there's lots of houses in Winlock.
Starts going up in
There's
Winlock.
lots of houses in Winlock.
We're gonna have 300. Max is gonna wanna build houses on his property.
I commuted to Thurston.
Yeah,
It's coming.
it's here.
Okay, Eric, is that all you got?
Yeah, thanks, sorry.
Okay, Kathy?
Challenge to start understanding and working with the planning commission, a work group about annexation. So many pieces
Mhm.
and fascinating. I'm really enjoying it, looking forward to our very next work session Monday.
Okay. That it?
Yep.
Jamie?
Okay, so I distributed my grant application that I got done for electrification of transportation system. That's to put in EV stations. Phase 1 is just to lay the groundwork. This is my first grant application, so there's no promises. I was winging it all the way. But after I got it in, I was able to do more research, and basically we have to consider having internet to the site. So that we can process transactions. What else is there? I can't remember now. There's all kinds of things that have to go into setting up one of these, and I'll have more for you once I remember it.
Anything else?
That's it. Oh, no, the other grant for growth management, we're not eligible for yet. It is for next year we can apply. That's supplemental to our big growth management that we already did, but this year is not for our county.
Is that the growth management? Is that the one that's attached to the bipartisan infrastructure legislation thing, the BIL? That they're doing a whole bunch of. No,
No, it's the one that you sent. It's with the Department of Commerce.
okay,
And it's for King County, Snohomish, several other counties, but not ours. Ours is next year.
okay. Good. So we
And
got time to practice.
Yeah, well, and I even left a note to have Jill put it on her calendar for June of next year to make sure that we get on this. Now I'm done.
Okay, that's all, council reports. Well, public comment on agenda items was Devin, you said there's nobody signed up? Okay, we can move on to new business. Park Advisory Board recommendation, meeting times, fees, and park winter closure. Discussion on that.
I don't think that we should change our decision to go to quarterly. I think historically they've been able to do it quarterly with the special meetings held. Like when we were talking about Wallace Pond.
Yeah, and then also, Mike Morgan made an interesting, point, which is why meetings are now at 6 o'clock instead of 3 o'clock.
Well, you have people that work during the day that can't attend if you do that.
But I think the current people on the park board now don't, or
Mike,
they were available at 3
I
o'clock.
don't know.
Mike
I don't
Thomas.
know. I
Mike
don't know
Thomas.
if it was ever at 3 o'clock, but they used to be at 3 o'clock. So,
Yeah, and if you move to 3 o'clock, now we have 2 people short.
Yeah.
So
So.
that's not a good one.
2 people short on what?
There's already one person not
They're short
of
of
vacancy. And if you move it to 3 o'clock, you would now have.
Mike Thomas would not be available.
So that would be a problem.
Then the best suggestion is to move it quarterly. Keep it at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and if they have something important comes up that's on a time crunch, then they can have a
Call.
special meeting whenever they need it.
Only a phone call away.
Or they can consider 5 o'clock, is 5 o'clock in the farm?
Well, he was,
Well, that
he was
doesn't,
concerned,
that doesn't
he
help,
was concerned about the comp time.
that doesn't help comp time, yeah.
That's what he was concerned, trying to cut the comp time. That's the only reason he wanted it earlier, because they would still be on the payroll. We wouldn't have to pay him comp time or overtime at all. That's why he brought it up. So. Is everybody okay with the fees? Increase about $5?
About the fees, I jumped the gun. I would need to wait until budget. You guys have workshops on budget. So we can't talk about the budget fees change. Sorry about
Okay.
that. I apologize.
Okay,
I have
scratch
I have a
that one.
question on that anyway. What exactly does entail the hookups for the RV?
Water and power.
Yeah,
So, $5 for water and power, I think is,
It's comparable to what,
We checked it at
everyone
Parks.
else is doing right now with just water and power.
okay.
okay, so the park board meeting times back to 3 PM, that's no go. How about the park winter closure? We'll talk about it.
I've always loved the idea of keeping it open. I think that's why I was talking to you, Mayor, about us graveling it.
Well, I think we've had people want to rent it in the winter time also.
Yeah,
Is that true, Shelley? That we have people want to rent later on in the winter months?
I haven't had any
We have, yeah.
We have in the
we have
past.
in the past.
We have in the past.
Nothing current right now, but.
Okay,
I
and the reason
think Shelley
The
can
reason
say-
we're gonna go try that this year is because of all the new rock that Mike and John
Yeah,
put
it's a
in.
great road.
That's, we got,
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
they put a lot of work into it and
No.
it should hold up as long as people stay on the gravel. And I can't guarantee that because some of these big motorhomes that come in are big. Just had one come in Saturday at our reunion that he had to swing and almost clear the fence line to make that turn to make his dump at the dump station.
Wow.
But he did use it and he got out of there.
Sounds like
So-
something to talk about when they call to make their reservations. That they're gonna have a winter friendly SUV. I mean,
Are
home.
people gonna be here during the winter?
Yeah, I'm just looking to see what the rules and regulations are gonna state, how long they can stay. During winter.
Oh.
For the stay is, Tim is 2 weeks. And they gotta leave a day or two and come back. I think that is, or is it a week? Devin, then another week. I think it's 2 weeks total for the year. Am I right?
14 days stay period, 7 days gone, and then you can come back.
For-
Once,
For 14 more days?
Yeah.
I thought it was only 2 weeks total.
We'll do
I think it's 7 days
7 days here, 7 days away,
gone.
and 7 days back.
Back for 7, but that is for 1 year only.
Yeah. 2 weeks total, Tim, but they gotta have a week in between. Or at least a week or longer in between. And when we do make some exceptions, we had a farmer that used the site year round because he was farming over here. We made an exception for that. So, but he was just in the far back and all to himself and never bothered anybody. And paid his money every month.
are there concerns during the winter months with the RV with hookup fee? Cause if heating your motorhome might get expensive for us. Do we have a way to keep track of what that's costing? It's on its own meter.
Off the meter, off the main meter.
That main meter runs our kitchen, it
Yeah,
runs
runs
our
our-
bathrooms, it runs everything,
Runs their site, runs them all.
runs them all. I mean, this could be a year of trial and error.
Absolutely.
We could try it and see what happens. If we have lots of business, which will compensate for electricity, that'll be pleasant for us. I don't know. I don't have my crystal ball, but I think it's worth trying for a year, and if it don't work, then we'll go back to shut the park down again.
Or making a change, maybe, you know.
Or
we
change.
don't offer electricity during the,
Who knows what the
Or
weather,
really offer
who knows what the weather's gonna do? You know, once it starts raining, it could be the monsoons for the next 6 months, well, I don't know. But, well, I'll tell you one thing, we got some good gravel down, and it's packed in there, and it shouldn't go anywhere. And it should hold up, well, they held up that big motorhome I saw Saturday, didn't even make a dent in the gravel. It's sitting up really good. And I, once again, thanks to our Public Works for doing that, and did a good job.
Everything should be okay too.
Yeah.
Why he was out by the fence. I don't know, we may have to look at that.
Well,
Oh, I know.
he was big, he was big.
To get it around. the corner.
And the corner might have scared him a little bit too, Mike, I don't know. But anyway, he made it through, he dumped and was on his way. Anyway. What do you guys want to do with, you want to keep the park winter open?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's about the only thing we can
Open
do on the
until we need
park,
to close it.
pardon me?
Open until we need to close it.
Well, Mike and I and Tent will keep an eye on everything. If it starts sinking or people getting stuck or something like that, we'll close it down immediately.
okay, so I'll make a motion that we keep the. That we keep the park open during the winter.
I will second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that perhaps we have a wintertime rate to account for the increase in electricity
Wintertime race?
for the RV parking.
Would that be something we would address when we're doing the budgeting and then come back to?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, motion on the floor. Any more discussion? Nothing? All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed?
I'm sorry.
Motion carries. Okay, ordinance number 776, mobile food vending, first reading. Open for discussion right now. Need a motion first?
Well, I'm gonna make a motion that we accept ordinance 776, since that was my baby on the planet.
Well, how about if I read the motion first,
Absolutely,
or the ordinance?
great.
An ordinance of the city of Toledo, Washington, allowing the operation of mobile food vendors within the city of Toledo, establishing rules and regulations and amending Toledo Municipal Code Title III. Business regulations to add a new chapter for the licensing and permitting requirements for mobile food vendors. Okay, Eric, make a motion.
I make a motion, we accept ordinance 776.
Go here a second.
second,
Moved in second. Any more discussion?
yes.
Go ahead.
In reading through all this, I didn't see where there's a requirement for fire hazard prevention. Is that,
I believe that in order to be permitted, was one of the items that they have to have is when we did this, we were relying on their having a license. I believe it was with the county, or is it with the county or the state? They have to get, or was that with the health for the food, yeah, it's pretty strict with, yeah.
Probably,
Verify all that.
And they're pretty strict on those.
it's probably L and I, Jamie, because when we even had the fireworks stand, we had to have fire extinguishers, we had to have escape door. We had to have all that stuff going to their codes before we could even sell fireworks. So they were very strict. I'm gonna say it's probably L and I. Devin, you think it's them?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff on this
well,
already.
item K covers.
K?
Lewis County,
Public health.
yeah,
and
state and
social
local
services,
traffic
state and
laws
local
provisions,
traffic laws. Yeah.
so, yeah, they're having to follow.
Item K, all mobile food vendors shall comply with all laws, rules, and regulations regarding food handling, and all food trucks used by mobile food vendors shall comply with all application laws, rules, and regulations respecting such vehicles as established by Lewis County Public Health. There we go. And social services, state and local traffic laws, and the provisions of the Toledo Municipal Code. That covers everything.
And they can put them on private property, and then we
Yeah.
also had we have places designated,
There's 4
yes.
designations.
And I spoke with Eddie, the guy who's doing the corn dogs, hot dogs. Corn dogs. And he was talking to another couple of other people about, I kind of had this vision of Food Truck Monday on Ramsey. So,
There's 4 locations, one's on Ramsey Way. Number 2 is at the boat launch, Front Street parking lot, zone 2. Another one's City Hall, Cole Street parking lot, zone 3. And then the Kemp Olson Memorial Park, zone 4. Those are the 4 spots.
And they could have more than one.
that was the idea, is, and I was like, he was talking about talking it up with a couple others, because he was saying you get a couple together and you get more people, because not everybody wants a corn dog. They might want-
Well, I got an earful from Donna.
Well, that's why we said that on Monday, because there is some, there's wording in here that they can't be a certain distance within a brick and mortar that sells the same thing on their open days.
I know, but the barbecue pizza guy is knocking on the door of Donna's. He's right in the parking lot. I don't know how many feet that is. I haven't measured it.
Where's that? Oh, they behind
Behind that hardware store, that empty lot
On Third Street.
on Third
on
Street.
Third Street.
Yeah, that's actually far enough away.
Well, she's not a happy camper. Taking away her pizza business.
You can't
banish
it from the city.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, that's what's gonna, the city's making this open to more vendors. What's it gonna do to our local ones?
Well, they made that to protect the local ones, to allow.
But they're also taking away.
I mean, what I see is a
It's not out there every day.
What
No,
I see,
we're
what I
not.
see is a clear need of like more options of eating places in the city of Toledo.
Yeah.
On a day when not a whole lot of places are open in Toledo. That's what I see that's happening here. And I understand that Donna is upset, but we can't all cater to one person and one.
Well, I don't know. I've only talked to one person. It could be the rest of them too. I don't know, Emily.
Right, I mean, but there are 3 restaurants in Toledo.
If you can't
This would-
Betty's.
This would be, right, if you can, so this would be a way of giving the citizens of our town more options without necessarily having brick and mortar buildings, on a.
And that brings people, you don't know that maybe word will get out if we do have Toledo Food Truck Mondays, and people will start coming to town and we'll get more business, and they'll see Donna's place, and that might get them to come back on a day she's open. And it would be business she didn't get. So I
I can
think
tell you the reason that
it's kind of the all.
I
the
go to
rising
Tom's,
tide.
it's not people lips or BLT and.
Yeah, it's like the rising tide, rises all, raises all,
Well,
boats type of thing.
Betty's draws in a lot of motorcycles
Mhm.
on the
Just gonna
weekend
say-
from Friday night to Sunday night. You can't believe how many motorcycle people are stopping at Betty's.
And they try to stop at Donna's on Sunday, but she's not open.
Well, that's what I was gonna suggest. If this guy would do the pizza on Sunday, Donna's closed. But hey, he's open on Sundays for pizza.
I talked to
Donna's
Eddie about
closed, so
that.
she doesn't have a,
He said he
Okay.
likes Monday
Yeah.
because they're at places on the weekend that have more people.
Mm.
And so they're looking for, they thought that was an interesting idea, that it would give them an extra day a week that they could potentially create a larger thing.
Well, and we can't legislate days of week. That's.
Well, we can legislate, they wouldn't be able to do that because they would be most of them would be too close to an open brick and mortar. Right, so.
We're legislating location.
Right, but indirect, so yes, if Donna wants to be open on Monday, then we wouldn't have food trucks there. Right, I mean. She would, so we are yielding to the permanent locations. So, am I not understanding what you're saying?
I thought you said that they were not located within the distance.
Of an open, of a place open for business. So that's Ramsey Street on Sunday, and Monday is barren. Right,
Oh.
because the
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon, excuse me.
Okay, is there any more discussion?
Yeah.
We have a motion on the floor.
Yeah, I wanted to address the permitting process. Each food handler has to have a permit. I'm hoping that is handled through Lewis County permitting,
Health Department.
because those have to be posted on site.
And then a city permit, is that true? Is that what this whole thing is?
The food handlers is through Lewis County.
And then
But
there,
Food vendors are through
and then their
the community health.
truck vehicle would
Health
have to
department.
also be like inspected too. That's, I mean, at least when I was working in the food industry, if you had a food truck, that had to be inspected as well before you could sell food out.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
that's state law
And you had to post that
in your
so
building.
that everybody coming to you said, oh, good, there are to be rats inside.
And
So-
well, and it should be periodically,
Disinfected, cleaned every night
no.
and
inspected.
re-inspected and,
Yes.
you know, every year it needs to be redone. Yes, every year it gets re-inspected, like a restaurant. It's basically a restaurant on wheels that you sell your food out of.
Yeah, it's not an annual, it's periodic. But yeah,
Yeah,
Do food trucks need a city business license when they're here?
yeah,
And that's already happening.
yeah.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Does everybody remember the motion? Okay. Devin, would you read the motion, please? I know you wrote it down.
Motion to accept ordinance, first reading of ordinance 7-6.
Thank you, Devin. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, number 3, the fence agreement on 431 Cedar Street. It's 70 some feet. They want to take out the old and put in the new. Everybody read that in your report.
mhm.
that they were putting up a new one connecting two parts.
I think that they're just kind of redoing and they may add on a little bit, but I don't think it affects anything.
I think it's 72 feet if I remember right in here on the picture and everything. And what I read was that it had the old fence taken down, a new one replaced it. Any other questions or discussion? Let's vote on the motion, please. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I,
Our supply will go up as we get busier, as the park, has more and more reunions. I did today clean out the warming box, because I didn't know if that was actually ever used. Ever use a warming box?
No, I don't even know what that is.
The warming box sits behind. It sits behind the grand fireplace.
A warming bar.
Wondered
Oh,
what that.
The
wow.
warming bar, you call it?
Okay. Okay,
Yeah, so I got that all cleaned out because the roof,
The
the
wood- the wood stove, yeah.
wood stove,
okay,
warming box, 'cause it's got a big plate on it.
okay, I
So
got
they
you.
got cleaned out, so maybe, I don't know if that's, I don't know if that's been inspected or if it can be used or not, I have no idea.
Sometimes when the
I
water,
cleaned it out because I figured, you know what, you just never know, so.
well, we have used it as a lion scrub when I was down there many years ago to start that fire, to keep it kind of, take the chill off the air. Then we went back to the buildings inside with our meetings and stuff, but we tried to. Outgoing in the park is fresh air and everybody liked that down there at the
Yeah.
moment, and we did start a fire.
Yeah.
The question I have for my sister is that in the women's restroom, they did run out of soap. So my question is, do you check on the, do you go in there periodically, you and your wife, to check? I don't know what you do, I don't know your routines, I'm just asking. Do you check periodically, like an hour or two into the festivities to see if everything's still, I mean, I don't know how much toilet paper.
Usually, once festivities start, we try to leave everybody alone.
Okay,
And then when the festivities are over with, we go back in and
Okay.
clean everything out.
because I was asked about the liners too, and I said,
Yeah.
Tim will take care of that, him and his wife will take care of that, I'm
Yeah.
sure. And they did replace them and blah, blah, blah.
Right, well, we took care of everything today, it was all squared away.
Okay.
We will go back and look at some.
It was
Is
hopping.
is the bracket in the women's restroom, is that still holding it? Because Mike had some concerns of maybe
Oh, it's just that how I had to redo it and everything, I would like to make a different bracket, so it doesn't look. Kind of walk with some air.
anything in there that you noticed?
It works.
It's wonky.
It's all, but it, yeah, I had to put a piece of wood on the wall.
Okay.
Not, it was a
I
quick
feel very
thing.
late.
No, it's not. It's just to get it back open again. It was a quick thing.
Okay. Yeah, we did, so soaps and everything were checked prior to the event starting,
Okay,
so people are watching their hands.
that's a good thing. Okay, that's all I got. Any more public input? Nothing? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so moved.
Second, move to second, all those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Opposed, please, and turn your mics off. Thank you.
Yard it up.